Hello, you're watching BTVA's Business Nigeria. It's the last trading day for the week, and I am Tunji Andrews. Now, on the show today, Tosin will be taking us through the day's equity market activities, while Boyega will share some fundamentals on what moved the market, and we'll also look at the major oil sector earnings out of the Nigerian bourse today. Let's check what news is trending in the country. Now, MTN Group and Africa's largest wireless operator cuts its full-year forecast for subscribers. This is on the back of the fact that 5 million Nigerian customers who were disconnected due to their inability to register their phone numbers as against the NCC order. Now, the company will now add 14.8 million net subscribers as against the 16.75 million it had earlier forecasted. Now, also, 91 companies have submitted bids to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, that's the NNPC, hoping to land contracts to provide coastal bunkering services, vessel services. These bidders are mostly indigenous vessel owners. And also, Lagos Ajah Shallow water oil field will miss its production deadline for December, according to one of its partners in the joint venture. It will now reach its first oil production in January 2016. But first, let's see how the equities market closed today. Tosi, Zenith Bank released its Q3 earnings today. Just one more Tier 1 bank to go. Now, take us through the numbers and the overall market activities this week.
Tunji, there is so much activity on the market today. Over 150 million shares has changed hands. And Oando hits us with as a result. And no, it was not that good. In short, it was bad. Oando currently trading at 9 naira 96 kobo. It has lost 4.23%. This stock was on full beat today with over 20 million stocks. I mean, we have to wait till next week to see how it performs. Some are postulating 8 naira, some are saying 7 naira. I'm saying maybe we'll see that it's year low of 9 naira, but we have to wait to see. The all share index closed marginally by 0.05% down to 30,011 points. It's worthy to note that throughout this week, the index stayed above the 30,000 index, unlike what we saw last week. My key gainers, we have UACN, it gained 4.9%. We have FCMB Group, it gained 4.29%. May and Baker, 4.27%. Unity Bank, 4.05%. And Mansard Insurance, 3.92%. Yesterday, NEM Insurance released relatively strong results. It is possible that the market players are positioning themselves in Mansard Insurance, expecting a similar result from them. I guess we have to wait for Mansard to release its results. On my laggards chart, we have Continental Re, it lost 5%. Okomu Oil lost 4.98%. It is worthy to note that this was the darling of the market last week. Okomu did a back-to-back 10% run last week, gaining a week-to-date performance of 27%. That was in the prior week. This week, we've seen a week-to-date loss of 50%. I guess this could be a market correction, giving traders an opportunity to position themselves in the stock. We also seen the result of the drops of Northern Nigeria by 4.97%. Beggar Paints lost 4.96%. It also released its results today. And Len Africa, 4.71%. The market breadth was negative. Down decliners, 22 decliners, and 18 advances. Now let's get into the earnings of today. Zenith Bank. Earlier this year, Fitch released the results stating that Nigeria is operating in an increasingly difficult environment, and as a result, it's a likelihood to expect that its profitability, its liquidity, and its capitals will be under attack. But based on what Zenith Bank has released, it has defied that norm. We've seen gross revenue up by 23% to 311 billion. Profit before tax up 17% to 95 billion naira. If we are to analyze that result, we could be expecting profit before tax of 126 billion before the year runs out. Let's hope that Zenith Bank does not post a poor Q4 result and it's continuing in this trajectory. And its loan book. Zenith Bank loan book grew by 23% to 1.7 trillion. This is one of the best we've seen so far. Perhaps Access Bank gave us a loan growth of 14% in its Q3, while UBA gave us a loan shrinking of 5.3% in its 9 months, and this is one of the best we've seen so far. It's really impressive. And how is the market reacting to Zenith Bank? Zenith Bank lost 8 kobo. It's currently trading at 17 naira 70 kobo. Over to Lafarge. Lafarge's gross profit is down by 2%. You know, in the first half of this year, it posted really strong result. I mean, we've seen its top line grow by about 15%, while its PBT grew by about 12%. But the result we've seen now, clearly the Q3 of Lafarge, it margined the strong performance we saw in the first half of this year. Lafarge has completed a second tranche of acquisition. It currently owns 50% of Unisem. I guess the question now is, when is Lafarge going to consolidate Unisem? Should we be expecting a consolidation at the end of the year, or is this expected for 2016? Unisem currently produces 2.5 million metric tons per annum, while it is expected to produce 5 million tons per annum at the end of 2016. And also, one of the key drivers of the growth we saw for Lafarge is from its WAPCO Nigerian arm and its ready-to-mix, while we are seeing flat and weaker growth from its South African operations. In total, for the 9 months, Lafarge's profit before tax dropped by 12% to 33 billion naira. It is worthy to note that in the first half of the year, Lafarge posted a loss of 20 billion from its discontinued operations. So if that did not happen, we should have been looking at a profit before tax of 50 billion. But hey, we're sitting with a profit before tax of 33 billion. Let's see how the Q4, if it will redeem the results that we are currently seeing. How did the market react to that? It's lost 1 naira, currently trading at 97 naira 50 kobo. This is the market updates from me.
Thank you, Tosi. After the break, BTVA's head of research, Boyega, will be giving us more analysis into the week-on-week activities of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Do not go anywhere. And we're back. Adegboyega Olatunde, BTVA's head of research, joins me on the desk to talk about the markets. We've seen the good. Now it's time to talk about the bad. Welcome, Boyega.
Hi, Tunji.
Let's go through the markets. Week on week, we did see the market dip slightly. We saw 3 days of gains against 2 days of gains against 3 days of losses. So maybe you should just take us through the markets and how this week fared exactly.
The market was down almost 4%. Now, the thing is this, Tunji, there's still a lot of things fundamentally wrong with the overall. Let's assume the general statement is this, that your stock market is a barometer of your economy. Now, and it's supposed to be a more or less accurate reflection of your economy. So if there's certain things in your economy that are not right, then it's going to also reflect on your stock market.
So
now,
who exactly were the drivers of the market, basically? Because, I mean, you have to have someone driving it up or down.
Yeah, surprisingly, you didn't have any heavy hitters this week. Oando did move up initially. We've seen a retracement in that. GTB moved up a bit. Zenith moved up slightly. You know, but you haven't seen anything that jumps at you because the market was down about 0.6% this week.
So, but we saw a lot of results come out this week. We saw GT Bank, we saw Nigerian Breweries, we saw Zenith, FO. Today we've seen Oando, we've seen Lafarge. I mean, shouldn't that have impacted the market in some sort of way?
It depends. The response is either going to be negative or positive. Now, if the numbers are good, then you do expect a positive reaction to the numbers. Probably the market would respond to that almost immediately. You probably see a rally for a day or two. But the challenge you've seen across board is, with the exception of maybe GTB, Zenith, most of the numbers are not significantly impressive.
But who was the standout performer for you this week?
Standout performer was obviously Zenith.
Zenith Bank?
Yeah, standout
Why
performer.
Exactly Zenith Bank?
Revenues were up 23%. PBT was up 17%. Other income grew by about 94% to 16 billion. Zenith was, for me, honestly, I felt the standout performer. Some people would say Access. I wouldn't stick with Zenith.
And which was the worst result?
Oh, I think, no comparison, Oando.
Aha. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be going into that, those numbers, because Oando released his results just about an hour or so ago, and also there is facts behind the figures going on right now at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. and we're going to be giving you reports on that on Monday. But for now, we're going to take a dive into the Oando results and, basically give you analysis. Boyega is going to be giving us analysis into why the numbers are a record loss. Now, stay with us. When we return, Boyega will be taking us through the oil and gas space of the Nigerian equities market. Oando in view as they report their poor half-year numbers and also poor 2014 numbers. Do not go anywhere. This is Business Nigeria. Now, you're watching BTVA's Business Nigeria, and I am Tunji Andrews. Boyega, let's start with the fact that the all-share index has been down 0.6% week on week. All-share index was down 1.1% last week. The all-share index closed at 30,011.89 points, basically down about 0.01%. I mean, that is bad in itself. I mean, we've just been seeing this across board for quite a while. But the big issue, I mean, I don't know how to say this. The numbers that are coming and shocking, basically, is Oando's results. Oando has kept us waiting for 10 months to release its full year 2014 results. And we're looking at the fact that the standout number I'm seeing there is a profit, a loss before tax of 171.32 billion naira. I think I have to say that again. 171.32 billion naira. You wait 10 months to tell us that you've lost 171.32 billion naira. Maybe there's something in those numbers that I don't understand. Could you just run us through Oando's numbers?
Okay, Tunji, honestly, I haven't seen this much blood since season 3 of Game of Thrones, The Red Wedding. Honestly, I haven't seen this much blood. Now, the thing is this, right? We're taking a look at the numbers. Revenue was down just marginally, 5.6%. Operating profit was down, right? Now, where that loss came from, look, the loss was 171 billion. Profit, the loss after tax was a lot bigger than that. They had about a 4.7 billion naira loss in discontinued operations. But the key thing is administrative expenses, 271 billion naira. It was 41 billion naira the previous year. So where did the 200? I'm curious, honestly.
Okay,
I'm
trying to play devil's advocate here. Let me try to be on Oando's side.
Okay.
You do know that Oando has some offshore loans, which possibly could have been hit by, what do you call it, the
depreciation in
devaluation
naira.
In the naira, and maybe that was what pushed up those numbers. Could it be that?
Honestly, at this point, we need guidance from management. You know, when I saw the numbers, the first thing I did was that's about 230 billion. At an exchange rate of 200
that's almost
that's $1 billion. Yes, currently, that's $1 billion. Now, the question is that the trend within the industry? And I have to start checking what we saw in Mobile, what we saw in FO. We're still going to get to those numbers. But the fact is, $230 billion in administrative expenses. Now, I was piqued to the point where I had to start checking what are administrative expenses. And I'm checking and I'm seeing, oh, there's salaries, personnel costs, professional, and I saw professional fees and I said, possibly. But as long as management hasn't given us guidance as to what exactly constitutes that, then
well, let's go to Mobile now. Mobile's revenue was down 25.35% to 45.3 billion naira. PBT was also down about 33.53%. So basically, it's that commodities issue happening to the oil and gas industry.
We've seen surprisingly across board, we've seen revenues drop, with the exception of maybe Oando's, whose half-year revenues grew. Mobile's revenues were down. FO's revenues were down also. And we would have seen declining profitability in both. But however, FO's revenues were obviously augmented by what they classified as other income, which we will believe is income from the full year. Is the cost of that transaction inclusive for the full year? there's a lot of clarity that we need at this point.
I'm just a bit worried why it took Oando about 10 months to report those numbers. Anyway, there's a fact behind the figures presentation going
Today,
on right now at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. We will be giving you details of that on Monday because we had to be here. Now, also looking at the H1 numbers, because Oando also released the H1 numbers
today.
Now, also alongside Mobile released his 9 months numbers.
Yeah.
So we're going to put them side by side on the video wall now. We're seeing Oando's H1 numbers, revenue up by 8.35%, but still a loss of 8.57 billion. It's just blood with Oando.
Yeah, now guess what? If you check the numbers again, 35 billion administrative expenses. The previous year was 17 billion. Right? Now, what I had to do was, okay, you know what? If it's administrative expenses and we're seeing 103 or over 100% growth in admin expenses, what is the trend across other companies? Mobile, 18%. Forte Oil, for 9 months, 45%. So I'm wondering, is it a problem of inefficiency? I don't know, but the management really does need to provide clarity on what constitutes admin expenses. I'm thinking that
possibly if I fix my glasses, probably on the operating the cost, we might be able to see a few luxury hotel rooms. I'm just joking. But
possibly. They have an asset, Wings. At one point, I was thinking, maybe it's Wings. They have an asset, Oolong Zuba and Badiwe that they're building. So I felt, is it Wings? But will Wings be included under, the cost of that asset be included under administrative expenses? I don't know.
It's burdensome because, okay, but looking at across board, you also see that Mobile was down 33.53%. Forte Oil was down 12.1%. All H1. Okay, Mobile is 9 months, but I mean, obviously, you're seeing the effects of global crude oil prices affected all these players because all of them significantly have upstream assets.
True.
Now, okay, we're seeing Oando, their ConocoPhillips assets. The Mobile has been doing that for a while. Forte has marginal
well, you know, the thing is this, Tunji, what a lot of them will tell you is, with the exception of Forte Oil, really, they will tell you that because what you're analyzing are downstream companies, so your revenue is not specifically based on crude oil prices. Yes, it does play a fact. It does play, it's a key factor, yes. Yeah. But the basic thing you're looking at is volumes in petrol stations. How much am I selling to my customers? Are there any hitches? Do we have issues regarding payments, subsidy reimbursements that weren't paid? And how quickly can I deliver my product to my fuel stations? That's what we're basically looking at. So we're not looking for Forte and Oando. We're not specifically looking at the upstream assets. But Forte has Geregu.
I want to ask you something around ethics.
Yeah.
If you were Wale Tinubu, would you have kept your numbers for 10 months only to release?
Well, you see, the thing is this, right?
Loss?
The first thing I would say is this, right? He has a responsibility to shareholders, and he is acutely aware of that responsibility. But the truth also is we do not know why. They haven't given us explanations as to why there was a delay for such a long period. And what I would have honestly
Doesn't that actually go against the NSE rules?
Well, what the NSE rules will tell you is you have 90 days after the end of the financial...
months.
Yeah, you have 90 days. But even the 90 days, what you tend to see is 90 days is from December 31st is March 31st. But you tend to see a lot of results being released in April. The ones who comply, release in April. Oando is not the only one. Kono releases every year in August.
Thank you very much, Gwega, for those insights, analysis, and we'll continue to follow those numbers for you. Of course, as we do, we'll continue to track those numbers as they roll in. It's earnings season. Gwega, BTVA's head of research, will continue to give you those insights, analysis. That's all we can take on the show for today. And of course, the week, we are BTVA, and what we do is premium financial and business news analysis. Thanks for watching Business Nigeria. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at BTVA Newsroom, or share your thoughts by hashtagging Business Nigeria. You can also follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @Tunji Andrews. Join us again on Monday for premium business coverage like never before. Till then, stay safe.